Okay, welcome to today's edition of Daf Yomi, Daf 4 Obit A of Bekhorot. Let's dive straight in. The Gemara says, in stating, if the priest of Levites rendered exempt the firstborn children and donkeys of the Israelites in the wilderness from being counted firstborns, the Mishnah indicates that the priests of Levites themselves rendered the animals exempt. The Gemara therefore asks, did they render the firstborn children and donkeys exempt? With regard to a person, i.e. the Israelite firstborn, the person, i.e. the priest of the Levites, rendered them exempt. With regard to an animal, i.e. the firstborn donkeys of the Israelites, the animal, i.e. the sheep of the priest of the Levites, rendered them exempt. As is written, take the Levites in exchange for all the firstborn of the children of Israel, and the animal of the Levites in exchange for the animals. Number 345, the Gemara answers. Abai said this is what the Mishnah is saying. Firstborn animals of priests and Levites are exempt from firstborn status, and this is derived from a fortiori inference. If the animals of the Levites, i.e. the sheep and of the priests of the Levites, render the firstborn status of the animals of the Israelites was abrogated, it is only logical that the sheep of the priests and Levites should render the firstborn status of the priests and Levites' own firstborn donkeys abrogated. Rama said to him, how can you interrupt the fortiori inference in the Mishnah as referring to the animals of the priests and Levites, but doesn't it teach they, i.e. the priests and Levites, render the firstborn children and donkeys of the Israelites exempt? The reference is clearly to the priests and Levites themselves, not the animals. Furthermore, if it is so that the animals are exempt due to the fortiori inference, then the priests and Levites should be exempt even from the halacha pertaining to a male firstborn of a kosher animal, as the firstborn kosher animals rendered the firstborn kosher animals of the Israelites exempt from firstborn status. Why did we learn in the Mishnah 13a the priests and Levites were not exempt from the mitzvah of the firstborn of a kosher animal? All are obligated to the mitzvah of a male firstborn kosher animal, including priests, Levites, and Israelites. An Israelite and a Levite must give their firstborn animal to a priest, while a priest separates his own firstborn animal and sacrifices it as an offering. In times when there is no temple, the priest waits until the animal is without a blemish, after which he may consume it. So Rama says, Bekhorot 17 Shulchan Aruch Yodea 321. And that is derived from a fortiori inference. If the sanctity of the Levites abrogates the sanctity of the firstborn of the Israelites in the wilderness, should not abrogate the sanctity of the firstborn Levites themselves. About us, we have found a source for the halacha that the Levites' personal status as firstborns is abrogated. When we derive that they are non-kosher animals, donkeys do not have the status of firstborns. The Gemara answers that the verse states, yet you shall redeem the firstborn of man. The firstborn of non-kosher animals you shall redeem, Numbers 18:15. The status of the human firstborn is juxtaposed with that of a non-kosher animal, from which the following principle is derived. Anything that applies to a woman's firstborn son applies to the firstborn of a non-kosher animal, and anything that does not apply to a woman's firstborn son does not apply to a non-kosher animal. Therefore, just as the firstborn status does not apply to Levites, it should not apply to their donkeys, and they do not need to be redeemed. Safra said to Abai, according to your opinion, that you say that the animals of the Levites did not have the firstborn status due to the fortiori inference, then with regard to a Levite who had a lamb, which abrogated the sanctity of the firstborn donkeys of the Israelites, let the firstborn status of his animals be abrogated. But with regard to one who did not have a lamb that would abrogate the sanctity, the status of his animals should not be abrogated. Rav Safra asked Abai an additional question. According to both you and Rava, since you agree that the firstborn Levites themselves were exempt from being accorded firstborn status because they rendered the sanctity of the Israelite firstborn abrogated, one should conclude that the sanctity of the Israelite firstborn, see number 315, should have his own firstborn status abrogated, but those firstborn Levites who were less than 1 month old, who did not abrogate the sanctity of the Israelite firstborn, should not have their own firstborn status abrogated. Furthermore, the sanctity of a firstborn son born to a female Levite who was married to an Israelite shall be abrogated, as the women were not included among the Levites who exchanged for the Israelite firstborn. Why then does Rav Adama Ahava say, with regard to a female Levite who gave birth, her firstborn son, you want to know an Israelite who was the firstborn son of a female Levite, or the daughter of a priest, and whose father is an Israelite, is exempt from being counted as a firstborn. A firstborn status is determined based on the mother rather than the father, as the stated firstborn of the womb. This ruling is according to Ma, son of Rav Yosef, citing Rav Sefer Zerayim, Hilchot Bekhorot 11, 10 Shulchan Aruch Yodeh 305:18. Is exempt from the obligation of giving 5 cents according to the plea to be redeemed. Is with regard to a female Levite who gave birth, her firstborn son was exempt from the obligation. Of giving 5 cents according to the plea to be redeemed. The Gemara answers the last question. That is not difficult. Hala kasha. That is not difficult. But Rashi explains, according to the interpretation of the Maharit Al-Ghazi, 865, that the Gemara here is answering the last question as follows. A female Levite is exempt from her offspring being counted as firstborn based on the phrase firstborn of the womb, which again indicates that it is determined by the womb, which belongs to the female. Maybe difficult remains, since the exemption of a firstborn male stems from the application of an Israelite firstborn in the wilderness, why would a Levite less than a month old be exempt if Levites that age do not abrogate firstborn sons in the wilderness? Transformed by contrast, retains the Gemara's answer him his own worst difficulty. Since the firstborn status depends on being the firstborn of the womb, any firstborn of a female Levite is exempt from the obligations firstborn status. Consequently, there is no difference whether the Levite was more or less than 1 month old at the time of application. This appears to be an explanation of Rabbeinu Gershom or Hagolah as well, as it is in accordance with the statement of Ba, son of Rav Yosef, in the name of Rava, who says, the fact that the Torah states with regard to the sanctity of the firstborn of a woman, Exodus 13:12, indicates that the first one, whether the obligation of the firstborn state depended on being the firstborn of the womb, i.e. of the mother. Therefore, the mother's status as the Levite is sufficient to exempt the child from firstborn status. Rav Safra again challenged the opinions of Abai and Rava. An Aaron who is not included in that count of the Levites, when they are compared to the number of Israelite firstborns and redeemed from the sanctity firstborns, should not have no firstborn status abrogated, as is taught in the Brisa. Why did not appear the word Aaron in the verse in the book of Numbers? All that were numbered of the Levites whom Moses and Aaron numbered, Numbers 3:39. This is in order to demonstrate that he was not included in that count of the Levites. The Gemara answers that the verse states the Levites, Numbers 3:45, to teach that all the Levites were juxtaposed with each other. Therefore, even a firstborn Levite who did not abrogate the sanctity of the Israelite firstborn himself was still abrogated of his own firstborn sanctity. The Gemara asks, when we derive that priests including Aaron were also subject to that halacha? Our answers is in accordance with the statement of Rabbi Yehuda ben Levi, and with the statement of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, as Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, the 24 places in the Bible the priests are called Levites, and this is one of them, but the priests, Levites, and the sons of Sadok, Ezekiel 44:15 is derived from this verse that the priests are included in the category of the Levites, even when they are not mentioned explicitly. That's the end of the Omen. Thank you for listening, and wish you a very good day. All the best. Bye.